What is going on, guys? It's your boy Jew. We are back here with another video. I am in the garage with both of my cars here, and I want to give you guys an update because I feel like you guys deserve an update on my 370Z. Man, this car has been such a process. That's all I can really say. It's been a headache. It's also been good at the same time, but I want to address some things right now so you guys know from the previous videos on this car that I have been fighting with an oil leak that I could not figure out where it has been coming from. Recently enough, I actually figured out where it's coming from. So actually, the oil leak is in fact coming from my turbo. So under the turbine wheel here, it's actually leaking like right under that. I'll throw some other videos on the screen that I have, but if you guys know turbos, that is not good. That is not good at all. And what that tells me is that this turbo is, I guess what you would say, blown per se. It's kind of weird because this turbo is a BorgWarner EFR 9174. This is a dual ball bearing turbo, a very expensive turbo. And since it's not like any other turbo out there, you can't really rebuild them. There's no seals inside, there's like bearings in there. And when I talked to BorgWarner, they actually told me that they don't have a rebuild kit for this turbo. It's kind of like a one and done type thing. So that really sucks for me as a consumer because I bought that turbo brand new. I spent a lot of money on that turbo and that setup. So the fact that to know that there's no rebuild kit and I'm pretty much stuck with now a garage ornament of a turbo, that's really, you know, ashamed and bad for me. Also, not to mention that I went ahead and welded, or I got my intercooler piping welded to my turbo. This is from that turbo. So there's kind of like no going back for me as far as that goes. So that's really unfortunate news. On another note though, you guys are gonna laugh at me. I did pick up another turbo though. So this one is another BorgWarner. It's not an EFR, so it's not all fancy. This one is actually journal bearing, meaning that there are seals in here. I did buy this turbo used, so let's say this turbo is blown, which I'm hoping that's not the case, but let's say it is. It's okay because I would be able to go buy a rebuild kit and get this turbo rebuilt for fairly cheap as opposed to buying that turbo again. So I'm not gonna say that this turbo is bad as a whole yet. I'm gonna take it off. That's actually why I have everything out of here. I have my down pipe, my intercooler piping, everything is off. And once I get this thing out of here, I'm gonna take this turbo to a turbo shop or just something like that, see if somebody can repair it. Because if it's savable, I'd more than likely want to use this one, because that turbo is gonna make good power and everything. It's just that with this one being dual ball bearing and like all fancy, this turbo is gonna spool very fast. And I forked out the money to buy an expensive turbo because I wanted this build to be, you know, spectacular. I wanted it to be like nothing I've ever built before as far as like turbo cars. So that's ideally why I'd want to run that turbo, but in a sense, this turbo will make good power. It still is gonna spool fast because they are both twin scroll. So they have 2 channels here, so it'll run through 3 of the runners on one side and then 3 of the runners on the other side. So they are both twin scroll. They're both T4. The only thing that sucks as well about switching these turbos out is, yes, they're both T4, so this turbo will sit on that flange, but my exhaust housing on this turbo is actually a V-band as opposed to this one is a Marmon. BorgWarner is known for having like a Marmon flange. Basically, in a sense, it's just like a weird flange that they have here. So as you guys can see, this is my down pipe. If I were to line this up, it looks like it fits, but it's very off. You know, it's very off. This is a really big flange that's on there. So that's the only thing that's gonna have to change, as well as my intercooler piping. Again, as I mentioned, my intercooler piping is kind of integrated to this turbo here, so I'm gonna have to try to figure something out. But before I even think about doing any of that, I want to go ahead and bolt that turbo on there and make sure that, you know, clearance is good, everything kind of fits how it should, etc. And we'll go from there. But I just wanted to really give you guys somewhat of an update on that car, man. I can't believe that happened to me, you know, with everything that's been going on lately. And you know, with this car specifically. It's just, I really can't believe that that happened. So it is what it is. What are you gonna do? But yeah, we're gonna keep going. That's what we're gonna do actually. So like I said, I'm in the process of taking this off. I went ahead and took my wastegates off, you know, my downpipe, intercooler piping. And to actually take that turbo off, because it's not V-band, I do have to take the manifold off. So that does kind of suck for me, but it is what it is. You know, it's got to happen either way. So I'm going to take that out and start fitting up the new stuff and get everything going. So I will update you guys once I am at that point where I feel like to do so. And I didn't really talk about that, but as far as specs on this one is a BorgWarner S69 SXE. These turbos have some weird names, but yeah, that's pretty much what this one is. This one is a 61 millimeter as opposed to my other one, which is a 71 millimeter. So yeah, a little bit smaller. They're both twin scroll, as I mentioned, but this one is journal bearing. So this one actually only uses oil as well, as opposed to my other turbo where it used oil and water. It was water cooled as well. So this one is just oil. Guess a little bit better for me, less lines running around and whatnot for the time being. I think another reason why this sucks so much is because the turbo, because it's bad, this is the last thing that's preventing me from driving my car. So if you guys don't know, everything else has been sorted out. I don't have any fuel leaks. I don't have any oil leaks anymore besides this turbo. But everything is sorted out. It's just literally the turbo being bad is preventing me from driving the car. And I guess to kind of put in perspective of like why I say I can't drive it because the turbo is leaking oil. Since it's leaking oil from the housing, let me show you guys again. Since it's leaking oil from there, it tends to drip onto the manifold here. Once it comes down off of here, it drips onto the manifold and the car will smoke. And it's smoking to the point where I can tell that it's not like new exhaust housing smokes. You guys know, sorry for the noise, the background noise by the way, but you guys know when you get new exhaust, you know, housing or just new exhaust like a downpipe, anything like that, the car will smoke, right? Because of the oils from your hand touching that. But since it's smoking from there, that's actually worse, you know, because that could cause a fire, and that's not like smoke that's gonna go away. That's smoke that's just there because oil is on something hot. That's why I cannot drive the car in this state. So we're gonna try, I'm gonna do my best. And when I say that, I'm gonna do my very best to get this car back up and running, you know, as fast as I can. But again, I do need some fab stuff, as I mentioned. So we'll do what we can. I'm not here to rush things. I'm just really vlogging this stuff to update you guys on like my process and like what I'm going through as a car builder and a person who loves to build cars and whatnot. So it is what it is. What I will say, a part of all of that going on as far as this whole turbo stuff, I'm gonna throw a video on the screen of a guy who was running this exact turbo. This turbo sounds amazing. This one sounds really, really good as well. Like honestly, this one is gonna be better than that one as far as sound wise, but this one does not sound bad. I was really bummed out once I found out that I was gonna have to get a new turbo, but once I was like looking up some videos of how this one sounds, man, I'm pretty excited actually. It's so funny too because my boy Davion has no idea that I went and bought another turbo. He was gonna come over and like help me take everything off and you know, help me out as far as like my situation of figuring out where I was gonna take my first turbo that I have. Yeah, he has no idea, so I cannot wait to get his reaction when he comes over and sees that I have another turbo. It's gonna be so funny. And not to mention that, now that I'm thinking about it, this is the third turbo that I bought for this car and this engine, and this car hasn't even drove yet. Like, what the heck? This is the third turbo. If you guys don't remember, I'll throw some videos and some pictures on the screen. I had a comp turbo that I bought because I wanted to go with comp because that was what I was running on my VQ. And I decided, okay, you know, it's journal bearing, blah, blah, blah. It's open scroll, it's not twin scroll like these turbos. It's gonna spool a little bit slower. So I sold that. And that's when I went full send and got my BorgWarner EFR that took a crap on me, I guess, or I don't know, I just guess I got unlucky with. And then now I'm with another BorgWarner. Definitely not the most ideal situation by any means, but you know, what are you gonna do? Also on another note, this is my 350Z Nismo. It's covered up right now, but I am actually looking to get rid of these wheels. I am 100% selling them. I have a few posts out right now for these wheels. These are the stock spec wheels. So they're 10.5 in the rear,
9.5 in the front. I believe it's plus 40 offset in the front and then plus 25 or something like that in the rear. But I'm mainly looking to either sell or trade these wheels. I really want to get Werkmeister SP1s or S1s. I really love those wheels. So if you guys have those and would be interested in trading for mine, I am in the SoCal area. So if you're in Southern California and you have some Werkmeisters, maybe VSXXs or something along the caliber of that, even potentially TE37s, let me know, bro. Ring my line, hit me up on Instagram, same thing as my YouTube, Z85Jew, because I am looking to get rid of these wheels. So please help your boy out. Yo, look how crazy the garage looks right now. What the heck? It's freaking insane. But just wanted to give you guys a quick update on how far I made it. So went ahead and took the cartridge out, I guess, like the front part of the turbo and the compressor and all that stuff. I did actually end up getting a few studs out, so you guys can see that that one is still there, but I took 2 out here, took 1 out there, and I'm just trying to take some of these on the bottom out, but just really limited with room. If I could honestly get this off of the manifold, because you guys see I have the 2 nuts off right there, and I have 1 off in the back right there. If I can get that out, then this manifold will come out. But since this is still on, I can't really like take the manifold off and like lean it the way I need to take it up. So pretty annoying, but yeah, I'm gonna try to fight with that one today, later today. And I do have some stuff on the way, so I ordered like some shorter studs, so that way if I ever have to do this again, which I might, because you guys know that I do want to run this turbo instead of the other one that's over there. That way, once I have the shorter studs in there, I will be able to take it out and on, you know, a lot easier. I should be able to actually do it with the turbo on, so that'll be good news. And I also ordered the correct flange for the new turbo here, so I ordered the Marmon flange, so that'll be here, and just a couple other like miscellaneous things that I'll need. Yeah, here is the cartridge of that turbo, and yeah, I won't really know if it's damaged until I take it to a shop and they take this off and really kind of look inside of here. So, but yeah, I think that's pretty much for my little update, man. My garage is a complete mess, and yeah, we'll update you guys in the upcoming videos here. And hopefully, again, I don't think, honestly, it's going to take too long, since I already do have the new turbo. I have the new studs on the way. I ordered everything that I'll need. So once I do the little bit of fab work just for my intercooler piping on this side, I think we really should be in business to start it up and drive the car and whatnot. Oh, also, I did remove a coolant line. It's not that it's super important, but you guys remember that this bottom port right here where my finger is, this was where my coolant line was going to feed coolant on the side of the turbo on this side, so I went ahead and removed that. Next thing I have to remove is just this top one. But yeah, again, just want to give you an update. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like the video, comment, and don't forget to subscribe to your boy, man. We are going to be driving this car soon, I promise.